Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Football Fignuts podcast. This is Season 7, Episode 35, that has 310 episodes, and my name is Craig.
And my name is Britt, and Craig, tonight we gather to close Season 7 of the Football Fignuts podcast, because next week we're off, because it's the 4th of July week, and then the week after that will be our stunning 8th season opening extravaganza.
That's crazy. Crazy talk. I can't believe it.
I'm not going to lie. Every season gets a little harder. There is so much great content out there right now that I'm just struggling to keep up. Folks don't understand this as content creators. And yeah, okay, we don't do a ton of episodes. We only do 35 episodes a year. Okay, whatever. But we're still working hard to create content and give you guys something to listen to and make it worth your while. There's a bajillion podcasts out there now, and a lot of them, they steal attention. We are working hard to try and make it worth your while, and we appreciate you listening to us. So it's exhausting. When we first started this, there was maybe 30 fantasy football podcasts total?
Maybe? Yeah. Yeah, and I think
there was 4 or 5 of the big boys, and that was it?
Yeah, that was pretty much it. There was a handful of ESPN or CBS or whatever, and that was it.
Yeah, ESPN has 4 fantasy football podcasts by themselves now.
Yep.
It's insane. It's insane. You know what else is insane? I haven't opened my beer yet. Let's start where we always start. Craig, what are you drinking?
So tonight, because I was not prepared, I have seltzer again.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah. But it's a ginger lime mule flavored seltzer, so...
Oh, that's cool.
It's a good theme, I should say, as I open it.
I went to check out the local package store since we moved. I haven't been to the new package store that's right down the road. Literally you can walk there from my house.
Oh, that's
and
not a bad thing.
it wasn't. The place is smaller than my bathroom.
Oh, okay.
He has stocks about a bajillion wines, and all your basic hard alcohols. And I was like, "Do you have a beer cooler?" And he pointed at 2 doors. And I was like, you know what? 20 years ago, this was fine. In this day and age, I was just kind of like, one of the doors was all the stuff you'd expect: Bud, Coors, all the big guys. And then the second door was 3/4 seltzers and hard vodka coolers and 2 shelves of craft beer.
All right.
And my choices basically came down to 2 Juicy from 2 Roads, or Sip of Sunshine, or Goose Island IPA. So I'm drinking 2 Juicy tonight.
There you go.
So I like to support the little guy when I can. It's small business owners deserve the support, and his prices weren't insane. But you got to offer me more than 2 IPAs.
Yeah, or at least put it, it doesn't have to be in a fridge. You can put it on a shelf.
Yeah, exactly.
Rick can chill it himself.
He's got no shelf space, this poor guy. It's all taken up by the alcohol, the hard stuff, and the wine. But So, all right. So let's jump right into it. Let's go get some burning hot takes. Craig, give or receive tonight?
Receive.
Okay, good, because I do have 2 of them, actually.
Okay, good.
All right, so question the first. This being our last episode of the year.
Yes.
Thinking back over the last season, is there any one thing that sticks out that you'll always remember season 7? A particular call, one particular week of DFS,
wow.
A good trend? It could be a bad thing, too. A bad call we made. Is there one thing that pops to the top of your head and goes, you know what? I will remember this about season 7. And again, it's going to be top of your head, gut check. It's the first thing that comes to you.
I think the shock... I don't even want to say it's a shock, but something that I think at least stands out in my head is because, it being in New England, and Cinch will probably get mad when he hears this, and that's fine.
He's on vacation.
He is, so he doesn't care right now. It's fine. I think really the complete downfall of the Patriots was just something to behold for someone or people like us who live in New England, and is now come full circle because long before Tom Brady, the Patriots were not good.
True.
They won 1 game. They were the worst team in Madden in, was it 95, 96?
Yep.
And then they got the dynasty and blah, blah, blah. And now they are back to being that worst team. Well, I don't think they're the worst team in Madden right now, but they're back at not being good. So for me, it was just something to see, experience.
It's a cycle. It's a circle of life in sports. The the rich become poor and vice versa in most cases, unless you're Jerry Jones, in which case you just spend a ton of money and just avoid the poor phase. I mean, their last like truly bad season was the year they drafted Aikman. So
True.
um,
True.
but for me, I will always remember this season as we were right about one thing, but for the wrong reason.
Hmm.
You and I were 150% right that Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets was going to be a shit show.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
The day it was announced, we're like, this is a bad idea. This is a mistake. This is bad. Oh, the Jets are contenders. If you go back and listen to that episode, I literally put like $2 on the Jets to miss the playoffs that year because everybody was putting money on the Jets. And in week like 7, DraftKings was like, yeah, it was supposed to be 2 to pays 10. Would you take like $8 to go away? And I was like, yes, I will, because stranger things have happened, and the Jets might go on a shit show winning streak, and I'll take my $8 and I'll leave. We never saw the injury coming,
No.
but we were right that it was a shit show. Even when he was injured, it was a shit show.
It was just bad decisions. They should have signed another veteran quarterback and just let go of the whole what's his face quarterback that they already got rid of. That my brain just blanked on.
He needs to stay the fuck out of politics. Yeah, well, he has a right to his opinion. Yep. The same people who sit there and say Aaron Rodgers has a right to his opinion are the same people who says Taylor Swift should shut up and sing. You know, in the arena, there's such a double standard, and Aaron Rodgers decided to wade into it, and he fucked around with Jimmy Kimmel, and he found out pretty quick how that goes. So the Aaron Rodgers being an absolute disaster in his arrival to New York. How many games does he play this year? Because I think this is going to be bad again.
Realistically, playing.
I'm gonna say he starts 5. 5 starts.
Yeah. See, I was gonna say like 6 or 7 starts. So
he's either gonna injure himself because he is up in years.
He is, and he does have an injury history. Like he's been broken a couple times in his career.
Yep. And all the baggage that comes with him, and the Jets are already looking towards the future.
I just think it's Woody Johnson, right? He's the owner of the Jets.
Yeah.
He saw in his brain them signing Aaron Rodgers and then getting to the playoffs, and he stuck with that even after he got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And it just didn't work.
And I think Woody Johnson, to his credit, saw jersey sales. Honestly, is what it was.
Yeah.
He saw, I'm going to sell 1 million jerseys at $1 a piece for the organization. That's $1 million of free money. So even if this guy comes in, and people are going to start paying attention to my team because we have a Hall of Fame veteran quarterback again, because we've been there with Brett Favre. But I don't know if you can call Flacco a Hall of Fame quarterback, although he
does have a Super Bowl.
Has Super Bowl and finds a way to win everywhere he goes. But so that's the one thing. When I look back at season 7, I'll think about the fact that we were right about Aaron Rodgers going to New York being a shit show.
Yeah, and they just couldn't let go of Zach. Like the idea of Zach Wilson they would not let go of it at all.
Yep, absolutely. All right, what do you got for me tonight?
So for me, it's fantasy question.
Sure.
So there's a running back on a new team, and that team is Washington, who I think are still named the Commanders. And that running back is Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler says he thinks he can reclaim the top role of fantasy running backs being in Washington.
No.
Do you think that is at all possible?
No.
Not to give away rankings, you think he'll even break the top 10?
Okay, so I'm full disclosure. Every year I bark at the team. I need your rankings. I need your rankings. I need your rankings. Last year, Craig was the last person to get me his rankings. Busy stuff, life going on. I think you had just changed jobs at that point. Whatever. This year, Craig was the first one to get me his rankings.
Yes.
I then got Cinch's rankings like 2 days later.
Yep.
I have not seen Sean's rankings, and I myself can't bitch about it because I haven't started mine yet. So I am going to cheat.
Yes.
And I'm going to go to CBS.
Sure.
And I want to look at rankings. Okay, consensus. Show me just running backs. Okay. let's see, where does Austin? I'm gonna go down their list until I either hit Austin Eckler or I hit a place where I think Austin Eckler should go.
Okay.
Christian McCaffrey, no. Austin Eckler's better. Wait, is this what is this?
I don't know.
Why
Are you
dollar
on the right? Are
values?
you on the right year?
Yes. Oh, okay. There's dollar values for okay. McCaffrey, yes. Am I in the right year? Because number 2 is Brees Hall.
A lot of people think that he's going to be good again, although there's no timeline to his return. So,
Bijan Robinson, fine. Jamar Gibbs, fine. Jamal Taylor, fine. Kelvin Williams, fine. Saquon Barkley, still better than Eckler. Travis Etienne, Jamal Cook, really? James Cook.
James.
I'm only halfway through my beer and I'm already mispronouncing people's names. James Cook in Buffalo. Yeah, he had such a good year last year. I can see it. Okay. Stepping back. Isaiah Pacheco. Yeah. Rashad White. Rashad White is the new Mendoza line in football. If you are not better than Rashad White, you're not top tier. The end. And ironically enough, he's number 11 on this particular list. So is Austin Eckler going to be more valuable than Rashad White? I don't think so. Your gut feeling, Rashad White or Austin Eckler, both of them are staring at you in the face and you have to take running back. Which one do you take?
What team is White on now? He's still in Tampa, isn't he?
Isn't he?
I think he's still in Tampa.
This is all the reason why I need to do my rankings. Yeah, he's still in Tampa.
I guess White.
Josh Jacobs. Okay. He changed teams though, right? This is how far behind I am. He's in Green Bay. Oh my God. Jacobs moves up way my list. Derrick Henry. Yeah, but he's in Baltimore, and that's a solid team. He's gonna get opportunities there. Joe Mixon at 14. Houston Texans. Yeah. By the way, this is all free right now on CBS Sports, so don't sue me. Alvin Kamara at 15. Okay. Devon A-Chain at 16. All right. Kenny Walker. Yeah. All right.
I would say Eckler's better than Walker.
And then next is Zamir White in Vegas, and that's where I'm like, okay, that's definitely my line. But that means that puts him around 17 or 18 against running backs in a PPR. The biggest crime is that David Montgomery is number 20, and we all know I am a absolute simp for David Montgomery. Like, I don't know what it is. I can't stop drafting David Montgomery. Like, we are like one draft away from an intervention. So where is he on this list? I'm scrolling down the list.
Is he even in the top 20?
No, he's at 33.
Wow.
Between Nick Chubb and Devon. Wow. It's the Department of Discarded Running Backs. He's between Devin Singletary and Nick Chubb.
Wow.
For some reason, I'm hearing the Island of Misfit Toys song in my head from Rudolph when I read these names. We're on the island of forgotten bags. I used to play at Buffalo. I was the only good player on the Browns. Anyway. Oh, the next name down the road is Bijan Robinson Jr. Oh, no, that's Brian. That's Brian Robinson Jr. God. Remember when Brian Robinson was the frickin' future in Washington?
Yes.
Yeah, he's number 35 now.
Oh my God. So total sidebar.
Yeah, go what you got.
I just found out that Case Keenum still plays, and he just signed with the Texans.
It doesn't count as a signing if you work the locker room.
Oh, all right.
You need another towel, sir? It's not a signing. But, you know, Case Keenum is one of those guys who, when he finally does hang it up, he's going to end up being a coach, like Frank Reichish.
I can see that.
Like, I was in the league so freaking long that you've got to respect my knowledge. And I played with everybody. I played in 7 different systems. I know every offensive system on the map. Somebody's got to draft me. Somebody's got to pick me up. That's going to be Case Keenum.
I see that.
So,
I can see that.
Well, I'm going to say Eckler's an RB3. RB3. There it is.
There it is.
RB3.
Would you put him in as a flex?
Yes.
All right.
Well, it depends on who my other options are, because
that's a valid point.
Once you get to the flex level, but yeah, an RB3 is sometimes a flex. So yeah. So all right. My last question for you.
Yep.
Right now, as we speak on June 27th, all of the major networks are right now running a pregame. Is it the NBA Finals or the Stanley Cup? No. Is it something to do with the world of soccer or cricket? No. It's the presidential debate. which led when I said, why do I need an hour lead up time to the presidential debate? My wife said, well, why do you need 4 hours before the Super Bowl to talk about people you've talked about all year? And I said to her, that is completely fucking different. And she said, no, it's not. Craig, the question for you, and I understand I'm putting you in a bind between me and my wife. Honesty is expected. Is it the same thing? An hour of, well, this is what these candidates are going to talk about versus 4 hours of, this particular player goes to visit children in the hospital kind of stories?
Like, you mean, is it the same idea?
Yeah, I mean, is it that? So to me, the 4 hours that lead up to the Super Bowl allow me to get a good buzz on and to really kind of look and see some human interest stories. The hour that leads up to a presidential debate is like, why? It's two guys versus the two teams of like 50.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, because the Super Bowl is it's more of a day for a very long party for most people.
Yes.
So that 4 hours is really for eating and bullshitting and drinking.
Yeah.
The hour before presidential debate, I mean, everyone already knows what they're going to argue about. Maybe they don't, because who knows what the hell they're going to say. But yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same.
Like 60%.
I'm not having a party before the presidential debate. Maybe I'm drinking. Right? I mean, fair. Maybe I'm drinking. Both things include drinking.
Yes, and nobody comes to your house before the Super Bowl and goes, I really want to see these things talked about before because I'm not sure who I'm supporting.
Right.
That happens before politics.
True. So yeah, I would say it's not the same, except for the drinking part.
Yeah, there are parts that are the same, but there are parts that are completely different. I'll take that. Okay, some quick news and notes, and then we'll probably be an earlier episode tonight. But and I'm sure you have a couple of news and notes to share. But I'm going to start it off with Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
The law office.
The law office has signed with the Bills, as most people already know.
Yep.
And this week said after Stephon Diggs' exit, he's going to, quote, go in there and be myself, end quote.
Okay.
Craig, I want to know from you, what does that mean for Marquez Valdez-Scantling? Because going in there and being myself is falling over a lot and dropping passes that hit me in the hands in stride.
True. I
so
think
is that really what Bills fans want to hear?
I think they want to hear that he's not going to be as moody as Stephon Diggs.
There's nobody moodier than Stephon Diggs. In a wide receiver, go ahead. In the current wide receiver ranks, who's moodier than Stephon Diggs?
I mean, Antonio Brown doesn't play anymore, so.
Yeah, no. Current players. Oh
yeah, then no, none that I can think of.
All right, go on with your thought, and I'm going to look up. I'm going to look at the rankings because I haven't started prep yet.
Listen. The Bills need someone. I don't know what the Bills' offense is going to look like now with Diggs gone. So hopefully he gets a shot. But us who have seen him play with various teams, like, know what we can expect. I'm not expecting him to go the deep routes like Diggs can. But yeah, there was a little bit of the ips happening there with him catching. So
yes, the first game of the year with the game on the line in the fourth quarter, the ball hit him in the hands in stride, and he dropped it, and the Chiefs lose.
Yes,
first game of the year. Listen, so Josh Allen, I know you're a huge fan of our podcast and you listen religiously. So listen carefully to me now. Wherever you think you need the ball, it's 2 feet further away. Because when he dives, he catches everything.
True.
Leave him an extra 2 feet, and you'll be fine. Just saying. Okay, more news and notes. There's a surprising rookie going at wide receiver 9 in early drafts.
Really?
And his name is Marvin Harrison Jr.
But his quarterback is Kyler Murray.
And yet, everyone is huge on this kid.
That's because of whose dad is.
Marvin, well, he also had a really.
Oh no, he did. He had an amazing college career.
Here, Craig, are you taking Marvin Harrison at receiver 9?
I mean, what round are we in?
I'm pulling up the top 200. I mean, wide receiver 9 is going to be pretty high, right?
I don't know, man. Kyler Murray scares me. That's the problem there.
Okay, so according to CBS, that puts him at 16 overall. That's round two,
Yeah.
right?
I can't. Listen, I enjoy gambling, but that's that's a lot right there. If you're, I mean, clearly, if you're in a dynasty league, then please, by all means. But
I leave for a cruise in less than a month, and let me tell you, gambling is a huge part of that. I think I told you guys this story, so I'll tell the abbreviated version here. But the last cruise I was on, the second to last night or the last night, I finally found an open seat at Let It Ride.
mhm.
I love Let It Ride. Sean and I are Let It Ride aficionados, but you can't play with Sean. He's the cooler. Infamously, 10 years ago at my bachelor party, I sat down in the early morning hours to play Let It Ride with my brother, and we were both up about $300. And then Sean sat down, and miraculously, like a half hour later, I was back to even. And the dealer looked at us and goes, "You no good. You're the cooler." And after that, Sean became known as the cooler at casinos. Don't play any casino games with Sean, ever. But on this particular trip, I was sitting there, and the seat next to me opened up, and a Bills fan sat down, and it was the week before Chiefs Bills. I had a half hour to 45-minute discussion with this guy about the game. And during that time, if you've ever you played Let It Ride, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so there's something is what we call. Oh, sorry, I'm getting adjusted here. There's something we call a no-brainer. A no-brainer is when you just have the cards, you're automatically going to win. So you just tell the dealer, "Go ahead. I'm not changing my bets or anything." If you don't learn to Let It Ride, you have the option to change your bets. In the half hour to 45 minutes, I was talking to this Bills fan. Every hand or every other hand was a no-brainer. So I didn't even focus on gambling. And I looked up 45 minutes later, and we both wished each other good luck. And I was up like $250. And I went, "What the fuck am I still sitting here for? I'm going to take this money and go buy myself a fancy bottle of cruise scotch." So, yeah. So I like to gamble too. Two side stories. I know. I'm a full beer in. Leave me alone. Season ending. It's a season ender. Leave me alone. But I am not. Marvin Harrison at 16 overall?
If he was on a different team, maybe, but not the
And maybe he's
Cardinals.
going to be great. So let me ask you this. How far does let's play that game. I'm going to run down the wide receivers who are behind him.
Okay.
You let me know when you reach that point. I'm in a draft
Yep.
and I need to take Whiteout, and I'll take I'll take Marvin Harrison Jr.
Okay.
So Jr. or Chris Olave?
Olave.
Olave is still questionable, but yeah, I agree. Devontae Adams.
He still is.
It's got to be clear cut for me. So if you're going, it's Adams.
Yeah.
Michael Pittman.
Pittman.
Mike Evans.
Marvin Harrison.
Okay. So yeah, Mike Evans is kind of a sore spot for us, but even I would take Evans over Harrison there. But then it's Jalen Waddle, Drake London, Nico Collins, Brandon Ayuk, and Ayuk is this low because his contract still isn't signed.
Yep.
Cooper Kupp, Debo, T. Higgins, George Pickens, DJ Metcalf. That's probably where I hit my cliff because the next name down is Devontae Smith.
Yeah. And like people, like I don't know. I think Houston is gonna have another big year, so I would definitely take Collins over him.
Nico Collins was a fucking meme last year at this time.
Yeah. Where's Sean?
Last year at this time, we were setting up a Twitch streamers league, and the guy who was running it, my Twitch team captain, a gentleman named Terry, was putting together the teams, and he said, "Quick, number one pick off the top of your head." And I jokingly, without hesitating, typed into chat, "Nico Collins." And we all laughed. Motherfucker was a wide receiver one last year. It was a top 10 wideout.
Yeah. Houston was good last year, so
Houston surprised a lot of people last year, and good for them that they did. Good for them that they did. But yeah, okay. Yeah, I can't buy it. I would love if I'm in, and now I know I'm stuttering because I'm 6 thoughts running through my head at the same time. But if I'm in Dynasty, Marvin Harrison might be my number one overall pick.
oh yeah. You know, if,
And redraft,
yeah. If Marvin Harrison was on a different team too, it would change. If he was, I don't know, if he was a Chief or a Bengal or
his value goes up.
he goes way up. Even if he was an Eagle,
Because we're worried about Kyler.
Yes, and just their offense in general. And so
Yeah, I
far,
mean,
once again, Arizona keeps doing it. After October, they're not that good. So
is there a Call of Duty this year?
every year, my friend, every year.
See, I don't play first person shooters. I'm a strategy gamer when I'm on Twitch. So
Yeah, it comes out the end of October. So yeah.
may Lord have mercy on Kyler's soul. Although last year he was pretty consistent. He just was consistently mediocre.
Yes, and then he got hurt, I think.
And he got hurt.
I'm pretty sure he got hurt.
But I mean, I don't think we could blame Call of Duty last year. He seemed to be doing okay, but not great. So, but hold on, I'm looking for the Arizona depth chart really quick. There it is. Oh, excuse me. Murray, Desmond Ritter. Oh God, that's right.
Remember
Desmond
him?
Ritter.
I forgot
That
about
experiment lasted a year. Desmond Ritter's the future in Atlanta. He's the future in Atlanta. Oh no, we traded him. Like it was that fast. It was that freaking fast. I'm looking for their. Here we go. Kyler Murray. James Conner is still their number one. Like
I feel like he's been playing for a decade.
this is a running back. This is a running back graveyard. Trey Benson behind him, then Michael Carter. Remember him? Oh, jeez, I just hit my mic, so I'm sorry if that. Emery DeMarcado, who we thought was going to be good. DJ Dallas is there now. Wide receivers are Marvin Harrison and Michael Wilson, Zay Jones, Greg Dortch, Zach Pascal.
Then they got their tight end McBride.
Yeah, but behind him is a bunch of guys I can't even pronounce their names. Elijah Higgins I can pronounce. Arizona feels like one of those teams that's going to win 2 games and draft a quarterback.
I can see it.
And that's just gut feeling looking at this. That's gut feeling. So, all right, do you have any headlines you want to talk about?
There's one thing, and I think Cinch has brought it up in our group chat.
Sure.
So Trevor Lawrence got his humongous signing bonus or extension contract.
Yep.
In your opinion, do you think, fantasy-wise, do you think that hurts your idea of how well they're going to do the following year after the giant contract? Do you think it takes away from their motivation at all?
I typically try to avoid guys who sign big contracts, particularly at quarterback. But in the case of Trevor Lawrence, I couldn't get the name out of my mouth. It doesn't, because Trevor Lawrence is already outside my top 10. So Trevor Lawrence is at best a QB2. So, and I say that knowing I haven't done my top 10 yet, and then I'll pull up CBS Sports. CBS Sports has Trevor Lawrence at 14.
Wow, who's in front of him till 10?
Hold on, I'm looking at Jaden Daniels in Washington. So they put a rookie ahead of him. Who was at 12? Brock Purdy is at 11, and Jordan Love is at 10.
Interesting.
Your personal friend and close confidant Kyler Murray is at 9. So Anthony Richardson, and then you get into the top 7 are all solid picks. You can't argue with them. You can argue order, but you can't argue them. Prescott, Burrow, Stroud, Lamar, Allen, Hurts, Mahomes.
Yeah.
I'm not. Richardson and Murray might be a little bit of a stretch for me, but Jordan Love and Brock Purdy and Tua Tagovailoa and Jaden Daniels all better than Trevor Lawrence. I mean, Justin Herbert's behind him, Goff's behind him, Cousins is behind him. I think Cousins is going to have a big year. I think that team is going to win a total of 4 games, but I think they're going to lose every game 21-11 or 21-10. I don't know how you get to 11. That's a weird number. They're going to lose every game 21-10, and that means Kirk Cousins is going to go 45 for 55 for 510 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 picks.
Yeah.
Every game.
Yeah, I can see that.
He's going to throw he has the potential to throw for 6,000 yards this year and then to lose every game.
Yes.
So I in fantasy rankings, I do move him up a little bit. I would definitely take Cousins ahead of Lawrence. John Stafford, there's another guy I would probably put up. Oh, Will Levis. Oh,
remember him?
Oh, I try not to. I drink so I don't have to remember that Will Levis still plays football. Wait a minute. Who's behind Will Levis? Russell Wilson?
Really?
Baker Mayfield is behind Will Levis? J.J. McCarthy. Well, J.J. McCarthy's, we don't know what the hell to get out of him. I don't expect a lot out of him. Geno Smith. Daniel Jones?
Oh, Daniel Jones. Hey, you remember the stat I showed you between Dak and Mahomes? So.
Yeah, the comparison between Dak Prescott and Patrick Mahomes sums up that fantasy is not reality. The end. It encapsulates the entire concept that you can't base a player's worth off of fantasy stats, because Patrick Mahomes has 3 statues right now, and the only statues that Dak Prescott have are the ones he bought at IKEA. So,
but it's IKEA.
That's true. You know who number 30 is right now on CBS's list? You're gonna love this. You're gonna be so excited.
Who is it?
It's Gardner Minshew.
Oh, nice.
All right, so let me ask you this. Seeing as we have plenty of time, and it's just kind of a relaxing episode. So Minshew's in Vegas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is he the presumptive starter? Because they have no one.
He better be.
Teams.
He's got to be.
Raiders. Come on, load. Depth chart. Okay, Aiden O'Connell is the presumptive starter. So here I'm going to alter my question. How many games before Aiden O'Connell is benched? Not injury, but how many games before Aiden O'Connell is benched for Gardner Minshew?
4.
I think that's a little aggressive. I'm just going to go 6. But
4 to 6, so 5. We'll say 5.
Gardner Minshew is the new Bernie Kosar. After his run as a starter was done, Bernie Kosar changed teams like 7 times, and no matter where he went, he started a game at some point.
Yeah. Or is he the new Blake Bortles?
You can't have folks like Blake Bortles. Gardner Minshew cannot compare to Blake Bortles, because Blake Bortles is the single greatest fantasy player in the history of all sports. It doesn't make a difference what sport you put him on. You want to have him play left field, he can play left field. Blake Bortles play left field. He'll probably hit about 310, a couple dingers, and get you the World Series, no problem. Cricket, Blake Bortles invented cricket. All right, so you said four games?
I said 4. You said 6.
Okay, so 4 games would be Chargers, Ravens, Panthers, Browns. I can see it. If they start out 0-4, which means they've lost back-to-back games to Carolina and Cleveland, which are home games, by the way, I can absolutely see them making a change.
Yep. Week
5 is at Denver. Week 6 is Pittsburgh. Okay, they won't make a change after the Pittsburgh game, though, because they're at the Rams. If they're going to make a change, they want a home game that's a layup, and that's Week 12 against Denver. Their schedule is brutal for a team that sucks.
Yeah, don't you hate that when that happens?
Like, after those first 5 games, which are relatively they got Pittsburgh, at the Rams, Kansas City, at the Bengals, at the Dolphins, and then home against Denver. Like, even if you're playing your best football, that's 4-game losing streak right there. Rams, Chiefs, Bengals, Dolphins, that's all loss.
That's going to be a rough month. Rough month. All right, I have a question for you. So
go for it.
I just opened up this ESPN's top 100 PPR rankings. So it's every position, but just ranked 1 through 100, right?
So you just opened that up?
I just opened this up.
Well, I'm just about to open up another beer, so that's good.
Perfect.
There we go. All right.
So, this has has everyone on it. It's just ranked in fantasy value, right?
Value.
So I'm scrolling down, right? And I get to where the 20s start. Okay.
And this is like overall, it's not one position, right?
Overall, yep. So at 20 is Derrick Henry, right? Then Devontae Adams, Marvin Harrison Jr., Chris Olave.
So wait. That was 22 for Harrison.
Harrison's at 22 on this list overall. Yes.
That's way higher than the other list. I don't remember what was like 16, the other list. So yeah, okay.
Chris Olave, Michael Pittman Jr., and Mike Evans is at 25. And I'm going to tell you the people who are after Mike Evans.
Yeah.
Sam Laporta, Joe Mixon.
Love him.
Drake London. Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, James Cook.
Yeah.
Devontae Smith, and Josh Jacobs. Do you think any of these people are higher up on your list overall than Mike Evans? Would you take any of those people over Mike Evans?
Yeah, both quarterbacks. Listen, there are 3 quarterbacks worth having in fantasy football, generally speaking. 3. And their names are Mahomes, Allen, and Hurts.
Yep.
And then if you want an acronym to remember in no particular, that's HAM backwards.
Huh.
So if you want a dollar ham,
that's true.
You take Mahomes, Allen's, and Hurts. Now, if you've listened to this podcast before, you know I can't stand Mike Evans. Tremendous talent, but he's like MVS, but with bigger games. His upswings are bigger. You
Yeah.
know what Mike Evans is? Mike Evans is that beautiful church you walk into where you step 2 steps in and you look up on there are these gigantic vaulted ceilings and there's beautiful like Renaissance era artwork everywhere. It's like the Sistine Chapel, but then you sit down and you realize that the floor is covered with used gum and and there's a rat sitting in the corner that like does the sign of the cross as a blessing to you while he sees you. You know, that's what Mike Evans is. The ceiling is so beautiful, and you're like, my God, if I could only reach that, I'd be okay. But then the reality is the floor is a sticky, infested mess. That is Mike Evans in fantasy, and that's I can't get over the sticky, infested mess. Well, he's going to score 35 points in week 6. Yeah, but he's going to combine for 35 points the rest of the year. It's the consistency. He is such a talent. There is no reason on earth that Mike Evans should not be the number 1 wide receiver in football other than he's Mike Evans.
Yeah. I remember, I think it was my brother was watching a Tampa Bay game last year, and he was like, how does he drop all these balls? I was like, you never watched the Tampa Bay game, have you?
No, and that's it. That's exactly it.
This is what happens.
This is your life now. I mean, Tom Brady came to understand it. Tom Brady would be like, dude, how many passes are you going to drop today? I'm going to throw it to 10 times. You tell me. You're going to drop 3 or 4? Can I get 50% out of you?
Can I get 5?
I mean, he would have lines where he'd be like 3 catches on 10 targets for like 40 yards.
Yep.
And then the next week would be 4 for 4 for 150 and 2 touchdowns.
Yep. Then you would go back to the 2 catches for 20 yards after, 5 attempts or 10 attempts.
But I can't. Well, he's great at best ball. Oh my God. He's probably the number 1 wide receiver in best ball because I don't have to worry about starting.
That's true. Him and Diggs, man, top 2 for best ball.
Boom. Boom. They're going to have 3 good games, and you don't have to guess which ones they're going to be.
Perfect.
Because best ball does it for you.
Yep. Thank God.
Have you done any best ball, by the way, yet?
I have not. I have not yet.
Neither have I. I have been so lazy.
It happens.
So lazy.
It happens.
I've been playing video games.
Sean's already done like 15 drafts, so.
Yeah, well, I know. Sean's already 150 deep on DraftKings. Guarantee it. Because he doesn't do the $1 drafts like I do just to see what people do when they think no one's watching. That you want to see draft research, kids? This is what you do. You play the cheapest draft best ball you can, and then you play a couple of the $20 best balls.
Yep.
You go to the extremes. Oh, well, that's not as high as it goes. I'm not advocating for you to spend $100 on a best ball. I'm not going to do that. But the guys the things that the people do in the $1 best ball are the guys who are reaching, and the guys that do in the higher end best ball, the $20 and $50 pools, those are the guys who are thinking reality. And you have to be in the middle for whatever you decide to do for your league.
Yep, exactly.
I've told this story a million times. I think it was season 3 or season 4. I was sitting at the bar at Two Roads by myself, and I pulled out my phone and I threw myself in a $1 draft. That was back when they had, what was that site that always used to do before DraftKings and FanDuel?
Crap.
What was it called?
Damn it, I don't remember.
They got bought out by FanDuel, I think.
They did.
It was the people who started really doing best ball drafts. But in that, you could chat in them. And I was sitting there, and at pick number 3, somebody took Deshaun Watson. And then immediately went off in chat. All you motherfuckers are going to be regretting it when I take your $10 because Deshaun Watson is going to be fucking awesome. He broke his leg in like week 4. But what did I learn? I learned that there are Deshaun Watson truthers out there. They're real, and they are willing to pay up for him.
Yes.
So I, as a person who thinks, and this is again several years ago, a person who thinks Deshaun Watson is good but not that highly rated can sit back and wait, because if you're going to take Deshaun Watson, you're passing over somebody better. So all you got to do is be patient. So that's what you learn in those cheap best balls. Oh, cheap best balls are the worst. you see the most impulsive actions of humanity in cheap best ball. You see the guy who takes Joe Mixon number one. You see the guy who takes Marvin Harrison Jr. number one.
It'll happen.
It will absolutely fucking happen. Absolutely. So that's why, my best ball budget's $100 a year. Probably more than 60 of it is spent in $1 and $2 drafts.
Yeah.
I need to see what the impulsive assholes are doing so that I can be prepared in case I get into a league with an impulsive asshole. Because once you've outed yourself as an impulsive asshole,
then everyone knows.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. And I'm not calling him an impulsive asshole. I want to be careful. This is a minor shift. But last year in our podcast league, my brother-in-law made a concerted effort because he believed the Jets were going to rebound under Aaron Rodgers. His first 4 picks were all Jets.
They were.
And that told me I can wait on certain positions because he's going for Jets.
Yep. I think you could draft, was it Breece Hall or Garrett Wilson?
Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, and Aaron Rodgers were his first 3 picks.
Yep.
And you know what? If it had worked, we would have been like, dude, that was impulsive and crazy, but congratulations. By the way, he's already reached out to me asking if we're doing the league this year.
We are. I will set it up again soon.
Yeah, we have plenty of time, but he's like, I'm in if we're doing it. I'm like, dude, we'll do it. It's a free league. We have a good time with it, and he loves it.
That's good.
So
good.
But again, there's values to best ball. And I'm going to make that my final thought.
Yeah.
There is value to best ball. This is the time of the year to start sitting down, throw a couple bucks into best ball, scale it, but play the extremes. If your budget says I can play $1 to $10, play a bunch of 1s, play a bunch of 10s. Don't play the 2s and the 5s. Play the extremes because you're going to learn more about the people you may run into in other leagues when you do that.
Yeah. No,
Craig, what is your final thought?
My final thought is, start doing what Sean is doing and just start doing some drafts because it's that time of year, people. It's almost go time.
Mock lobbies are probably up.
Yeah, they are.
You want to see the most impulsive draft strategies ever? Go to a mock draft.
And definitely pay attention. The other thing too is definitely pay attention if you were doing a PPR league or not, because that will change.
Oh my God.
That will change some strategies. I mean, is AJ Brown still going to be good on a non-PPR team? Yes. Is he going to have more value on a PPR league? Yes. So
he's not good in any league, so it's fun. I'm messing. I don't know what to make of the goddamn Eagles.
I don't know. They're going to have a new offensive line this year, so see how it goes. Well, a new center, rather.
Really quick before we sign off, I was listening to Serious Fantasy Football in the Morning, which, by the way, John Hansen has left the show.
Did he? Did not know that.
The Guru has... I don't think he's retired, per se, because it's still sponsored by his website, but I think he's reached the point where he's starting to pull back. And getting up at like 5 a.m. to do a football show every morning has kind of lost his...
That's especially when you have your own thing, so...
And you have other experts with you. Like, he has a very good team around him. So I think there's some changes there. But where was I going with this? Oh crap! They were talking this week about Dallas Goedert.
Yes.
And how talented Dallas Goedert is, and how great he fills in with Philadelphia. If I told you the most touchdowns he's ever had in the Jalen Hurts era, what's the most touchdowns he's ever scored in a season?
6.
4.
Wow.
Happened once, and every other time has been 2 or 3. The dude does not catch touchdowns, and this is what makes the Eagles such a hard read for me in fantasy, is that if you're 25 yards out, Dallas Goedert's got a shot. If you're inside the 5, forget it. Forget it. I'd be shocked. I'll take a look at it before we record, but I'd be shocked if Travis Kelce's touchdown average was more than 10 or 15 yards. He gets the ball inside the 5 a lot. But the way the Eagles are set up, I mean, forget it. If you're inside the 2, it's Jalen Hurts every time.
Yes.
So anyway, let me thank you all for joining us on this journey for another season. This is the conclusion of season 7. We will be back in 2 weeks with the triumphant opening of season 8. And that means the work begins. The off season is over. We will have our season opener And then a week later, we will start freaking rankings.
Yep.
In which I stop being a podcaster and start being a referee. Since wait for Sean. Craig has to answer first. No.
Nope.
Stop it.
Oh, Sean, talk into the mic.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
Oh
Good times.
My god.
Oh, it's all fun. It's all fun.
Back before COVID, when we were doing these things, we would do them all in Craig's studio. And Sean would be with the mic, and he would turn to his left like 90 degrees away from the mic to tell me something, like on air. Like he'd be making a point, you know what I think about this particular player? And I'd be like, talking to the mic, you asshole. No one can hear you. All they can hear is this. They go, that's not funny. Talking to the mic. He could not get used to it. So Craig the next year set up the mic in the middle of the room to face everybody.
It helped mostly.
It did. It really did actually help. So that's why it makes me chuckle. It's like you're like, Sean, talking to the mic. Don't talk to me. Talk to the mic. Make eye contact with the mic. The mic is your lover. Love the mic. So, all right, folks, thank you so much for joining us for another season. You have no idea how much it means to us. We really appreciate you guys hanging out as much as you can. If you'd like to reach out to us, please do so. The best way is email at this point. We are fignutsdfs@gmail.com. Again, fignutsdfs@gmail.com. We still have a Twitter account, but I don't think anyone's checked it in 6 months. We could have won the lottery and we wouldn't know. So definitely reach out to us via email. We're also on Facebook at the Football Fignuts Podcast. So, Craig, 7 years since you talked me into doing this.
Over a beer that no longer exists. Craziness.
Oh my God, that's how long it's been. The beer that this podcast was hatched on with a legal pad and pen no longer exists.
No, makes me sad.
We can still go to tour, though, right? I mean,
we could.
We don't have to. Okay.
We could.
Okay.
We could.
Just making sure.
Yeah.
Just making sure. Okay. All right, folks. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you in 2 weeks for the start of season 8. Until then, my name is Britt.
I'm Craig.
And we are the Football Fignuts Podcast. Hi, Deb.